Good evening, Misfit Riders, and today we're going to do a little unboxing and give you some information about the brand new SJCAM Gimbal 2. Deuce, baby, Deuce Part 2. They've just come out with this. I picked this up here in the Philippines for 5,300 pesos, which is roughly about 100 US dollars. So let's dive into this bad boy, open her up, and let's see what she's got in here for us. Oh, look at that. We got an official SJCAM clamshell-like foam protection case. Let's crack her open. Pow! Oh goodness. Look at that. So it looks like we've got our handheld gimbal, got our power cable, two of them, one for a Type-C and one for that micro USB sort of one that they have on the camera. And then we've got a Type-C cable for recharging the gimbal. Got our instruction booklet here. Anything underneath that? Oh, it doesn't look like it. So we got our instruction booklet. Let's take that top one out. First thing I noticed is there's not a carry case like the first gimbal has. And I'm not crazy about that. I wish it came with one because I don't really want to carry this around with me when I travel. So I may have to look for an aftermarket case to kind of hook this up and make it a little bit more feasible. Oh, this isn't too bad. You can probably put that over it, maybe strap some heavy duty Velcro around it to keep it from opening in transit. Well, like I said, case would have been nice, but I guess for $100, beggars can't be choosers. So let's see what we got here. Oh, it's in there tight. It's too tight. So we got our gimbal here. And we're just going to slide the rest of this over to the side for now. Okay. So what do we got here? We got our joystick. We got a mode button. It kind of gives you an idea of the modes that it has down here on the side. I don't know if it comes in through the camera that well or not. We got our power record button. Got our battery lights. And we got some style of trigger here. Let's attach a camera to this and see what we got. Oh yeah, we also got a tripod mount. Or I don't know if they want to, maybe a handle mount. Then also a threaded base there too. So that's nice. You can set it up for some motion capture, time-lapse shots. Okay, so let's attach a camera. So we got my trusty SJ6 Legend here. This thing's been on quite a few adventures. It's been dropped a few times. I got a crack going on in the display there. But it still seems to be pretty serviceable. Let's see what we got here. Oh, first thing when you do this, make sure you go in there and turn on the gimbal control. Let's see if that's running now. I don't know if I got it on or not. So we'll turn the camera on. Go to settings, gimbal control. Yeah, it's on. So we'll power this back off. And we'll slide this in here. So we'll tighten our thumb screws down. We'll have our thumb screw on the back here. Keep it secure. You don't want it flying off. Yeah, it's probably good enough. Looks like it's in there pretty level. Good as it's going to get. I'm going to attach power cable into it. And then we got our power on button. Let's light this bad boy up. Boom. Oh, look at that. Oh, and attached to the camera so the camera comes on as well. Got our joystick for our movements. So I think this has about 640 degrees, something like that, of movement. We got it as far as it'll go this way. Let's spin it around this way. So we got 360. And not quite another 360, so yeah. Not too shabby. We're going to pan up, all the way back and around, all the way down, around. It's a pretty good range of motion there. So the first mode when you turn it on is going to be pan following. That's kind of the default mode. And that'll move this around up and down, and it just kind of stays on the original target there. So that's our first mode. We got pan following. To get to our second mode, we're going to double click, and then we'll get two flashes here, and that is going to be the pan and tilt following. So the move it left to right kind of stays stable, but it allows me to adjust it vertically up and down. Third one, we're going to give it a triple click, and they call it all locked. And it kind of locks it on the original target. Up, down, left to right. And we're going to give her 4 clicks for our fourth mode. And we can tell, and it's going to kind of allow me to move it in about any direction. Up and down, left and right. And the camera slowly follows along with that. And of course, if you need to make adjustments, you can on the camera here. So if you want that 360 degree shot around there, you can make it happen, Captain. The trigger on the front brings it back to center if you double tap on it. So double tap on that trigger and it kind of resets back to the original position, which is nice if you're moving around a lot. The one thing I am disappointed in, this one does not have the selfie mode in it like the original SJCAM Gimbal did, where you hit the button and the camera would whip around, and when you're walking and talking and capturing yourself when you're doing a vlog, so you're just going to have to kind of spin it around yourself. It won't go that way. I've got it maxed out on that side. Let's go this way. Yeah, so you got to spin it around to yourself if you want to see it. The neat thing with this one that I do enjoy is the motion lapse. It has an app that you connect to it through the Bluetooth, and let's do that on ye old phone. Let's spin you back around there, Chief. So you download it on your phone here. It's the SJCAM app. We'll open that up. You can connect to your camera on the Wi-Fi, and then hit down here on the gimbal, and you connect to the gimbal through Bluetooth. So let's turn that on. We'll turn on Bluetooth, yes. So we'll search for the signal, and we're connected. And then you can actually control the gimbal with your phone. Bluetooth, so you need it left, you need it right, you need it down, you need it up. You control it all on here. Also gives you your battery level on there. But my favorite feature is this one right here, the motion lapse. You can go in here, and let's point it over here for a second. So let's say I want to do a motion lapse and pan this around. I'm going to add that first waypoint in. And then I want it to go over to this side of the room. And we'll lock in our second waypoint. Hit next. And then you can say how long of the duration you want. All the way up to 6 hours. We're not going to do that though. Let's run it on 30 seconds so you can kind of see the movement as it pans across here. So we're going to hit the begin. Let's get this party started. So we'll go over here, pow. We'll start on the original waypoint. And then it'll track all the way back to the second waypoint. And I'm not sure how many waypoints you can put in there. I was playing with it earlier and I had 5 different ones. So you can make it go up and down, back around. The only thing I can't get it to do is do a full 360. Once it reaches past the 180 mark, it wants to cut back and shortcut to the other one. When it gets done, it'll tell you motion time lapse complete. You can also change the modes in the app here as well. You can change it to that pitch follow, all lock, all follow, instead of having to hit the button there. If you connect through the Wi-Fi of the camera, you can, hit the record button as well. I don't use the Wi-Fi too much on the camera. It kind of eats up the battery. Also, a little disappointed in the battery of this. It says it gives you about 6 hours, but maybe 3 or 4 of actual continuous use from what I've seen out of that. Maybe if you start with a full battery and the camera won't drain down as quick, it's a possibility. But it doesn't really seem to give you the 6 hours. But in most cases, I doubt you're going to be filming continuously in one day that much. Just plug it in a battery pack, get it rolling, get it charging again. The one thing I have noticed, let's center this bad boy back up. Boom, we got it right back to the front. I don't know if you can see it here or not. Well, 2 things I've noticed. If you have the timer in this thing, where I usually have the camera, if it's inactive for 5 minutes, to shut off, when it's connected to this, it'll still shut off. It won't come back on. So if you plan to shoot a lot with it, you may want to take that on and off. Other fact is, you just got to shut the gimbal back down, turn it off, turn it back on, and then it'll restart the battery. Or if you got a little pin, you can reach down in there and hit the power button and start it back up. But it's kind of a pain in the ass to get to, so it's just easier to turn the gimbal on and off. Let's tilt this down. Up here on the top, I've got it on video mode, and the instructions are a little misleading. It says you press this button here, this one right about here, for the record, and then hit it 2 times and it switches the camera. I don't know if it's just the SJ6 or what, but it doesn't really function like that. And I thought it was broken, or that I needed to update the firmware, because mine wasn't doing that. To get this in record, and it's kind of temperamental, you got to give it 2 taps, and then it'll change and start recording, where the instruction booklet says tap it once. If you tap it once, it doesn't do anything. To get it to stop, 1 tap again, doesn't do anything. I got to give it 2 taps, and then even then it still doesn't. There, it finally stops. So I don't know, hopefully they'll come out with an update that kind of kinks out them bugs. Sort of a pain in the ass. I think it's just easier if you want to make sure you're recording, just to tap that record button on top here and actually make it record yourself. Because that button's not the most accurate. We'll see it again here. Hit it twice, starts recording. Now I want it to stop. Twice, doesn't stop recording. Hit it again. There, it stops recording. and when you hit it once, it switches over to the camera. So now you can hit it twice and it'll go back to it's kind of buggy on that. So I'm not impressed at all with the record feature. Seems a little buggy. Who knows? Maybe they'll fix it, maybe they won't. $100. The other features kind of make up for it, but like I said, if you really want to make sure you're recording, just hit the record button. Now this could just be the SJ6, maybe the SJ7, SJ8 works a lot better with it. But like I said, one more time, try the record, hit it twice, records, and now say I want to stop, hit it twice, and it stops. Sometimes it stops, sometimes it don't. So I don't know what the deal is with that. But if you're recording and you want to make sure you don't miss a shot, double check and make sure it's actually recording. So that is the new SJCAM Gimbal 2. A lot of nice features to it. It says it's a little buggy on the record mode. Maybe they'll fix it, maybe they won't. But I really like the motion lapse, how you can set it up to move. You can pan it, you can tilt it up, and run it across a whole room or a whole scenery. Said I haven't yet got it convinced to do a 360, which I thought would be pretty neat on a motion lapse to get that 360. But alas, it doesn't do it. If you want to see what it does, if you're curious, let's try that. I think I still got it hooked up here. We're going to do our motion lapse. We'll make this our first waypoint. Spin a little bit more. Tilt it up. We'll tilt that up. I got my second. Spin around a little bit more. Have it come back down. That'll be my third. Tilt it back over here. That's my fourth, and then we'll have it come back to this one for a fifth and 360. So let's start it back over at this point here at the bumper stop, and let's get it rolling. Let's do it pretty fast. We'll do 30 seconds. Begin. So it starts off, hits the first one, going to the second where I pointed it up, comes back around to the third one, is it going to do it? Oh, so close. See, it stops, and now it'll go back this way to get to that fifth waypoint. So it won't quite do a 360, which I would like to have seen that do, but oh well. Wish in one hand, crap in the other, see which one fills up first. But then he hits that fifth waypoint. So that's a few of the things. Overall, I like it for $100. It's pretty darn good gimbal. Two downsides, record button's kind of sketchy. And it's so close to getting a 360, but not quite. Oh, it would have been beautiful if it done that. Also, keep eye on it when you do the motion lapse. It'll come to an end, and then sometimes it'll still say it's in progress. So I don't know, there's some glitches, there's some bugs in it. Maybe they'll work them out, maybe they won't. I don't do as much with the SJCAM on updating stuff. I know DJI is a pain in the ass. I've got a Mavic Pro, and their stuff's glitchy. That app for Android's atrocious half the time. So we'll see, but I can live with it. So just keep an eye on the record when you're doing your motion lapse. Check and see if it gets to its endpoint, because a lot of times it'll get to that endpoint and it won't tell you. But overall, $100, not bad. It's a pretty smooth operation. Stays in position pretty good. And hopefully we'll test this out in my new moto vlogs when we do a couple motorcycle shows or traveling around, and we'll do a little walk around video with it and give you an idea of what it looks like with it stable in this, and then maybe I'll do a side by shot of a handheld SJ6 with its gyro sensor on, and see if we can do a side-by-side and see which one's better in the end. So I appreciate you coming along on this ride for me. We got our new addition here to our motovlog team of Misfit Rider Manila. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. We're going to have a lot of fun adventures over the next year. Cheers, mate.